Welcome in to Pay Dirt Sports, powered by the Six Pack Coverage Network. This is Will Dundon here with Nick Truschel and Seth Coggin. Got a pretty good little slate to talk about today. A little bit of NFL, actually.
Yeah, wide array of stuff.
A lot of basketball to talk for sure. But let's kick it off real quick with coach we were talking about, I think, a couple weeks ago. So it turns out Brian Flores, after I don't know what's going on with his whole lawsuit and everything, but looks like he's going to go team up with the Steelers and be basically another assistant linebackers coach. Looks like same job he had with the Patriots as far as I can tell. But honestly, forget all the kind of extra stuff or baggage or whatever that's going on. I'm glad Flores has a job and is coaching linebackers again. You know, I think that's something he deserves and something he'll do pretty good at. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a great situation coming in. Obviously, they've got TJ Watt, unreal linebacker, and the defense in general is pretty good over in Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin always has a good defense. So I think Brian Flores is going to be put in a good situation, good head coach to be under. I think he'll be back to kind of, well, I guess it depends on how this lawsuit goes. I did see that it's still going to kind of continue on as normal, but I think he's probably going to get another big shot at a big DC job here soon. So
I bet we'll see. I would bet he gets another head coaching job.
That's what I was going to say, but I kind of held back with the lawsuit. If he doesn't, if that kind of stuff falls to the wayside and nothing too crazy happens in those lawsuits, I think he'll get another head coaching job for sure. He's that quality of a coach.
No, yeah. I mean, I think he deserves it. I mean, it comes down to the lawsuit, though, kind of, right? Like you were just saying, Nick, like I don't know. Because like we said, that's a hill he wants to die on. Like that could be something that.
Yeah, and he even said that also, himself.
I think the fact that he's got this job right now, it is kind of okay, he's back in the coaching game, right? Someone will hire him as a DC for sure, I think, pretty soon. And if he does that for a couple years, then if say he doesn't get a head coaching gig for a while, but he gets a DC gig a couple years down the road after that, I think someone would probably hire him as a head coach, you know? So we'll see. But yeah, Trush, we'll talk a little bit about, we were talking about it just before we started recording here. Tell me about some of the XFL, NFL news we were hearing.
Yeah.
This is really cool stuff. And this article and kind of a lot of this news came out today. So a little bit of breaking news on Pay Dirt Sports here. The NFL and XFL have reached a partnership agreement that will focus on creating innovation programs and protecting the health of players. So it made it clear, the collaboration is not going to currently include player sharing for development purposes. So it's not like we're going to have two-way contracts or anything like that.
It's not like a G League. It's not a developmental
it's not a developmental league, but they said there is going to be some focus on kind of developing players, but it won't be tied as closely like they do.
Well, it's a platform, you know, if it's a good platform for football players to, you know, that's a developmental league. Like this guy's balling out in the XFL. Okay, like we'll sign him next season.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll get deals.
Like you're just not like no teams are going to be connected. You know, like you're not going to have But it's still, I mean, you're going to have NFL coaches going to scout players over there. It's kind of their, like the entire league is like their farm team. Kind of is what it's going to be like. I think.
No,
it's another pool of players. It's you know. It's kind of college without it's like college football almost without school. It's just like, you know,
it could potentially turn into that. Who knows?
It's like there might even be like a draft. I don't know. They're not doing that as of now, but there might be, or I don't know.
It could change down the road.
There's always been like semi-pro football leagues though that people are getting signed from. I mean, it'd be similar to the CFL or something. It's just they're a little more connected.
Yeah, it seems like a little more connected. Kind of to me, I think it's comparable to like what JUCO is to D1 football because college, kind of the high school for the NFL, the XFL is going to kind of look to be like a high-level JUCO, if that makes sense. Because, you obviously have way more people coming out of high school into college traditionally, just like you probably will having come out of college into the NFL traditionally. But in that same way, like you're going to be able to tap into this, hey, this guy's got experience playing this level of competition as well. We can bring him over because maybe, he's had 1,000 snaps in this league. Maybe now he's ready, even though he wasn't ready straight out of college.
Yeah. And
which guys keep working and you stay healthy and then you get a shot,
Yeah, we could see another like Arena Football League Kurt Warner story come in and lead a team to a Super Bowl and end up having a Hall of Fame type career. So you never know what could happen. This is just the beginnings. There's going to be a lot of focus on testing new rules, officiating.
That's cool. That's good.
So testing positive. New equipment, new rules, and developing official prospects. So to actually improve the officiating in the NFL and get that better, it'll almost be like a developmental league for some of these refs as well, which will be really cool.
I like that. That means we're training the future refs, So we got to do a good job. The NFL is really committing a little bit, it sounds like, to making the XFL work.
I like the testing of the rules too. Like maybe everyone talks NFL overtime and stuff.
Yeah, you test those.
Stuff doesn't matter as much, so you can kind of test out some different ideas if you want. That'll be fun.
I like that they're even calling it the test lab. They're literally saying to the public, no, we're just like it's like a chamber. We're just like it's a football test lab. We're gonna see what happens.
Yeah.
And The Rock's in charge of it, dude, and it's led by Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Let's go.
And Vince McMahon, the head of the WWE.
Dude, that's gonna be so sick. Where are the teams? Are they the same ones they came out with like a little bit ago?
I think so. Yeah.
Dude, I got a Tampa Bay Viper. I'm a Tampa Bay Vipers fan. Let's go.
I might have to hop on the Vipers train.
Dude, it reminded me of the Venom. The
Nashville Venom.
Yeah, the Nashville Venom. So I really like the vibe of the Vipers down there.
Isn't Jeff Fisher coaching a team?
Yeah, it's
no, that's even a different one, dude. That's
Minnesota.
It's like the Michigan Panthers.
Oh, Michigan Panthers. Yeah, the Michigan Panthers.
I think that's it. Hey, good for him. I hope he's having fun. I mean, he's probably chilling pretty hard coaching football like this. Cashing a pretty decent check.
Yeah, it's the United States Football League, the USFL.
Right. I forgot about that.
So it'll be cool. I mean, it says they're going to be eyeing towards opening training camps by January 2023. So it looks like next year, less than a year from now, we're already in February. So we are T-minus 11 months until the XFL and NFL officially combine their forces. So,
all right.
You know what we could do? We might be able to get friend of the show, Jack Probst, see if he is planning on trying out for a team, get a little inside access.
That would be insane. I mean, definitely. What if Jack Probst is the next like success story and he just becomes a beast holder in the NFL for like 10 years, spends 7 years in the XFL. Like by the time he's 30,
a career vet.
Yeah.
A career vet long snapper in the XFL. That actually that'd be sick. And he does keep doing his music stuff. So he's this career long snapper in the XFL who just like moonlights at bars and stuff.
That would be awesome.
That'd be perfect.
He could be like the next Arvydas Sabonis, but for the NFL. Just comes in at like 32 in the NFL, but ends up being like an all-star and just incredible NFL player. That'd be awesome.
We'll have to see. I think he texted me the other week and said he was definitely like considering it. I mean, how could you not?
I mean, they didn't miss a single. There wasn't a single drop snap, right? Didn't he have some kind of insane stat like that or something?
In college, yeah, he was perfect.
Yeah,
never had a problem.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Man's never made a mistake in his life.
Yeah. And
I think he did end up on a couple of SC not top 10s though, after getting absolutely leveled.
It was verse like Texas A&M. I saw that I was at a Preds game and I wandered into a box with Will Boatwright and a bunch of Ole Miss people watching
guys,
the game.
they were watching it. Oh.
And then he got a targeting call, so they went to replay it. And so they just show Jack just getting leveled like 5 or 6 times in a row, just like sideways. Oh man, but he did get the call, popped right up. Took
they took on the smiling about it or something because he knew he had just gotten decked.
Terrible. But hey, that's how you know he's tough. He's a tough football player that can provide some big support on special teams. I think any XFL team would be lucky to have him.
Hey, if we're going for entertainment and football, like who's better than Jack Probst?
Yeah, I think we might have to see if we can do like a day in the life, maybe throw it up on YouTube or something. Get Jack doing his XFL throughout the day and then music by night.
No, we need to do whenever there's gonna be a certain tryout. Whenever he has his tryout, we're showing up. Like we're
we'll have to do a pay dirt live. We'll have to do
we're getting that man on that team. Like
we'll have to do an Instagram live.
We gotta show up with a crew that says like, no, you sign. A long snapper who shows up with the crew is definite to get signed. That
because then they know they're gonna build a fan base for their long snapper. If you have passionate fans showing up for a long snapper, imagine what getting a good quarterback on the team would be. They would be fired up. So, but definitely some potential we can look at for the future.
Oh, for sure. Do we want to hop in? Do we want a little the stadium rumors going around?
Yeah, that's what I was hoping to jump into.
That.
Nashville. So
it's got me fired up. I can't lie. It's got me fired up.
Oh yeah, and Seth and I before the podcast were talking about some potential names, but to give a little background, the team was considering upgrades at Nissan, its home field since 1999. That would cost up to $600 million and include a new entire entertainment district. But because it was so expensive, they were like, screw it. Why don't we just build a new stadium? So it hasn't been confirmed yet, but there's a lot of rumors being kicked around about a potential new stadium here in Nashville for the Titans, which I know Seth and I agree on this, and I think, Will, you'll agree on this. Adelphia Coliseum needs to come back.
Bring it back. Come on, bring it back.
I'm kind of torn. I'm not gonna lie. First of all, there is something about football being outside in the cold and building a massive coliseum would be sick. However, like the idea of a dome is somewhat appealing to me. Like there's so much you could do, and the fact that you would just always be able to go in, never worry about weather or anything. But at the same time, I think I would miss the 15-degree into the season division clinching game or playoff game. Like I would miss that for sure.
A Jags or Colts game going down to the wire to get in the playoffs, and it's 20 degrees outside. You're packed in Nissan Stadium, all bundled up in your Titans sweater, Titans gloves, Titans scarf. I mean, there's some good moments out there.
Everything that's got a Titans logo on, put it on. We're going to the game.
Oh yeah.
Later.
You got to think too, like the dome, it does open up. I mean, you now have a venue for literally anything, and it would give you a chance at the Super Bowl.
Look, I said I might accept a dome if we still could find a way to have real grass. We're in Nashville, Tennessee. We can grow great grass. We gotta.
And with all the recent ACL injuries on turf, I don't want turf.
Yeah, no one wants turf. It's bad for the players. Get it out of the game. People got lazy and we invented turf. That's why we have injuries and stuff.
We need, and plus it even creates more jobs. You get those groundskeepers out there keeping.
I want an immaculate grounds.
It boosts the economy. There's really it's a win-win situation for everybody.
All you're doing is hiring more guys who want to care to the very grass you play on. That's sick. That's just like you're hiring good people.
Yeah, you're hiring good, hard, honest workers to go out there and keep that grass clean. We need to get some maybe like Vanderbilt Legends groundskeepers, steal them, poach them from some of the golf courses around here and get that grass looking real nice.
Oh, dude, if you poach some good superintendents or something from the golf courses, dude, you could have a great grass. You could keep a field so good.
Well,
it's
'cause I
like
think
one
it's-
patch of flat grass. Like we can keep that thing pristine.
Oh yeah.
All the resources in the world.
you could do grass inside, like as long as you water it and have some sun lamps or something. Like, am I wrong?
No,
I feel
I
like
think
you
it's
would be able to-
Crazy if
possible.
we had some kind of greenhouse that's growing grass inside.
Oh my, and that could be the
Blue house.
the
It's
stadium
it's
name,
the
the
blue
greenhouse, the blue house. Yeah, I kind of like that. It might be
All right,
still a
what
little
if-
bit from the
There
big
might
house.
be a way we can do it. I think I'm gonna try to figure something out.
I want a retractable roof though. If we do it down, I want to be able to open it up.
I don't
Neat.
want it to be like retractable. I want it to be like almost kind of like a awning. Like it's not even retractable. It's like some way. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's indoor outdoor. It's still an indoor outdoor space, but it's not like retractable, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
It does
that
make
makes
sense. But
But why can't they host a Super Bowl outside? That's my main thing. Like, why couldn't the Super Bowl be in Chicago? That'd be sick. Like, Chicago hosting a Super Bowl would be amazing.
I'm all for a frigid Super Bowl, but they're just not going to do it.
yeah,
Why? Why? That's stupid. The XFL would do it. The XFL will have a Super Bowl in Nashville.
they're gonna test how it the XFL championship does in cold
An
weather.
entertainment-centered stadium is awesome. That is a great idea. That space in downtown has amazing potential. It is like a perfect spot for just a huge party entertainment space. I hope they do it right. That's really my thing. I hope they do it right. I would love baseball to come to Nashville. I think building the right stadium entertainment district right now in downtown would be like a perfect time for Major League to come.
It could happen.
That's an opportunity they have. I wouldn't mind a dual stadium. I kind of like that aspect. Like you could do it in a good
Like
way.
Oakland,
Yeah, I mean in some way like that.
or I guess the former Oakland Stadium, but
I feel like you could make it work better if it's indoors. Although I don't know what the shape would look like exactly. I guess it wouldn't be too different.
I don't know. I mean, you might. That's why we have amazing architects that can work on that. You know, they'll figure out a cool way to integrate the two stadiums and make it cool. I don't know.
I saw it playing one time though. It's on I think it's the Nashville Stars Twitter, which is the defunct like MLB page for the possible Nashville team. And I think they had if they were to build a new baseball stadium, it would be like right on the other side of Topgolf or right next to it, which is right next to Nissan Stadium. So you'd have like that whole area being your, football stadium and baseball stadium.
Yeah. I like having them connected if they are going to be both professional.
Yeah.
Because that way you just have one kind of, parking district down there too, you have a bigger space to dedicate to just the professional sports. And they never really overlap. So, you can use all that space for each one, make it easier. And then you got the Preds right across the street too. So, I mean, I don't know about, I typically park at Nissan Stadium when I go to like a Preds game. Like it's great parking for downtown.
it is.
So I think having a big entertainment district like that, because they host so many concerts and everything. Like look when Garth went like to Nashville and he shut the city, like he shut the traffic grid down because one big performance came to the city. Yeah, that's not ready to host a Super Bowl. First, let's solve like the transit problem, and that's growing in Nashville. Then we can talk about hosting the Super Bowl. But that's my 2 cents.
That's a good call.
First,
I'm all for it.
First, the parking. I think connecting over there by getting rid of the dump right there would be good too, to be quite honest. I don't really know exactly what's going on over there on the south side of the stadium.
Yeah, it's
in between the stadium and the interstate.
I don't know, but there's so much stuff you could get rid of right there.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some stuff to clear out.
There's some ratty, like, temporary living spaces and it's basically like apartments for homeless people, where you pay like $100 a month. Like, I think that's still there. They might be tearing that down though. But there's some nasty stuff over there that it's like, why is this still around? Like, we just need to start bulldozing some of this.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Because you do kind of
find a better spot for some of that. Whatever needs to be kept, we can find a better spot for it. This spot needs to be this spot. This spot's kind of a good spot for this situation.
That's pretty much it on NFL and kind of football news. Not too much going on. Do y'all want to hit college baseball real quick before we get into college basketball? Do a little baseball minute here, because I know we have some Vols news that was pretty hype. Opened up the season with a sweep of, what was it, Georgia Southern? Georgia Southern really just took care of business. 14-0, 9-0, then 10-3.
Nice.
Everybody played well. Vols ranked number 16. Drew Gilbert grand slam in the 8th was the big highlight of the series. But everything is looking off to a good start here in Vol baseball and continuing that College World Series run we had last year. So it's going to be excited to see what Tony V and the boys can put together. I know the legends of Lindsey Nelson are definitely getting fired up for this season. I think they're on hiatus right now, though. And to give a little background in there, it's a bunch of crazy baseball fans. Lindsey Nelson is the stadium that they play in. And we kind of were going viral for a minute for the craziness that was being brought over when Tennessee baseball was real good. So it'll be interesting to see if that fan base continues on the craziness and love and passion for Tennessee sports.
Yeah.
There also was a little I don't know if y'all saw this, but there was a little subtle jab thrown at the Tennessee baseball team from none other than Arkansas's head coach Dave Van Horn.
I missed that.
That got taken way out of context. That was about something. I think it was even really about Alabama or something. It probably was a little jab at Tennessee too, though.
There's definitely a little beef there for sure.
Oh, there's a little beef, but it wasn't. I mean, he was,
because we got rowdy for Arkansas. I was at one of the game when we hit the walk-off
that was
home
sick.
run.
That was.
I mean, that was one of the most fun times I've had.
That was sweet.
At even in Neyland Stadium. It felt like I was at a football game when we hit that grand slam. I was in the student section. Beer literally just started spraying everywhere. Everybody, a massive pile up of people. Tony V comes running up to the fan base, starts going crazy. Everybody's getting fired up for him. It was awesome.
Well, that's what I like. If you're a baseball traditionalist, which there were a lot of longtime baseball fans who are like this, and I don't not respect it. But if you are one of those people, you probably don't like Tennessee baseball.
No,
and
it's all new age.
And but I'm fine with it. I think it's funny, obviously.
I like it. I mean, I like the sport. I like baseball a lot. So anything that gets people excited about baseball is very exciting to me. I enjoy watching that. So I enjoy Tennessee. Dave Van Horn is a lot. He's got a different thing going on, man. He's built his own program, and but it got taken way out of context because they started equating what he was saying, fun, as kind of mocking. I don't really know exactly what they were trying to associate. We have fun too. I've had a lot of fun in Arkansas. Arkansas baseball is very, very fun. Because we win a lot of games, so we have a lot of those winning afternoons, and just you know what I mean. So it's not like our program doesn't have fun. We enjoy winning. That's sick. That's the best kind of fun.
Yeah, I think what got it is when he started talking about stuff going on in the dugout, and then he said it was just his words, shenanigans, and we're like, well, yeah, we pull a lot of shit. We do that in the dugout.
We do pull shenanigans.
Shenanigans are funny, dude. We're playing baseball, having fun, and winning. See, that's what makes everything more good. When the Vols are winning, those are a lot more fun. They do a lot of winning. In Tennessee, Arkansas lost. Hey, Arkansas lost their first game, which is just kind of funny, ironic after all the comments that Arkansas goes out and pretty much just lays an egg in game 1. But they bounced back. They won the series, got it under control. We'll see. Baseball's a long season. Pitchers look good. Pitchers look good, and that seems more important on day 1, 2, and 3. And Tennessee's did definitely. Too. They shut everybody down.
Yeah, we looked really good. And that's one of the coolest things I think about baseball is one player. If your pitcher is red hot and on, you basically win the game. Because if you have, and especially at elite SEC programs where it's MLB talent, if that dude is just nailing the corners, you can't. There's just nothing hitters can really do. So it's cool. But we also have some pretty big college basketball news going on. I figured we can kind of go ahead and step into that here. Michigan basketball, Wisconsin basketball. Juwan Howard, suspended the rest of the season. Obviously, some crazy stuff went down.
Can he coach postseason? Can he coach in the postseason?
I don't believe so. I need to double check on that, but I believe they'd said for the remainder of everything. But that might be a loophole.
I saw one place remaining. Yeah, I saw one place remaining, and one place said 5 games.
Really, I didn't see that 5-game one.
But that 5 games might be their remaining schedule because we only have 3 conference games left.
That is true.
And then
so he's being suspended 5 games, which is the rest of the regular season. So it's just going to be the regular season. So I think I guess we were talking about a little bit earlier, if it was a closed fist, it probably would have been suspended all the way through, potentially fired. But luckily, just fired.
If he punched someone, truly punched someone in the face, he might be fired. He might not, but definite possibility. Bad look. It's a bad look on your head coach, regardless. But
the fact that he threw a wimpy swipe saved him. The fact that Juwan Howard decided to out. He thought about punching him, but then he couldn't do it.
Could have saved his career, but definitely lost some respect for Juwan Howard. And it kind of all stemmed from first. It was kind of weird because Michigan was pressing for the last 15 seconds. Wisconsin had put in their backups. Juwan Howard claimed they weren't pressing, but it looked like they were, and he called the timeout to basically help break the press. They were about to get a 10-second violation, and he's got the backups in there. You call the timeout. It's a learning moment for those backups getting key playing time. Yeah. And Juwan Howard took it as trying to pack on some points and call a timeout and drop a play, but I didn't feel like that was the case. He had put in the backups, and then Juwan Howard didn't want to talk to him at the end of the game, but Wisconsin's head coach tried to stop him and talk to him, and then once he touched him, all hell broke loose. And he said, "Don't effing touch me," and would not apologize. I know at the postgame press conference, or didn't have anything to apologize about.
He didn't end up swinging on the first guy.
Yeah, it wasn't the head coach that hit.
That's why it's interesting to me that it got he didn't swing on the other head coach. He swung at this random guy out.
Yeah, it was some random assistant, right?
Well, no, so that's what happened. That's why I wish we could have had Toe come on here. So Toe put out a really good video on Twitter kind of explaining the whole situation. So, and I listened to the press conferences after and stuff. So yeah, Juwan denied the whole full court press thing and said they were just playing man or something. But either way, I agree. Who really cares if he calls a timeout? If you're pressing and he didn't think they were going to get the ball across, call a timeout, whatever. Anyway, so they come back, they go to shake hands, and Juwan goes up and starts pointing and saying, "I'll remember that," because crucial. He's trying to pack on points, and then Wisconsin, he should have just let it go. I think both of them should have let it go. I think the Wisconsin coach should have just been okay, whatever. You don't have to grab them and try to explain everything to them. You don't need to explain anything to them. Just keep going. But so they get into it. And then I think it was the guy he hit. I'm not 100% positive, but one of the assistants comes up, and you can tell everyone's kind of getting pulled back. It looks like it's going to end.
It looks like it was going to slow down.
then the Wisconsin assistant is the one who you can tell he said something because one of the Michigan players who's like right next to him kind of loses it and is like, what the heck did you just say? And that's when Juwan starts getting real mad and takes a swipe at the guy, and, everything kind of all
and some players started throwing punches at each other, and it really was an all-out. It looked like it was about to be another Malice in the Palace, that some fans could come start fighting out of the stands, what it looked like for a second, but everything kind of got under control and broken up. But it definitely it got into a full-out scrum by both teams for sure.
I honestly think too, I think the majority of coaches, I think the fact that it's Michigan and the fact that it's Juwan Howard, if it was someone else, like, they're getting fired if that happens. That's
definitely true. And I saw something funny. Somebody was asking, like, which timeout do you think Juwan Howard was more mad about, the one in the national championship or the one that Wisconsin's coach called? So it started a full-on fight, but maybe you should have been more worried about Chris Webber's timeout in the national championship than this timeout. So it was goofy across the board, in my opinion.
That's honestly, it makes me laugh. You talk about another coach. Like, I think about Musselman, like, trying to punch someone. That just seems really funny to me, especially right now. He's so short already, and then he's got his sling on, so he's just like, if he actually tried to swing on somebody in post game, that'd be wild. Like, Juwan is just so much bigger. Like, Juwan,
he's massive.
Juwan did swing over like several people.
He was easily reached over 4 dudes.
Yeah, that's wild. He did. The fact that they had such good video of him not actually punching that guy, and they had true like evidence that he didn't punch him. He did just kind of like, I don't know. Feel like it made it better for him. Like, if that video showed him just nailing a punch on across his, he's gone.
Didn't Juwan do something last year too? Like, isn't this the second time he's done something like this?
I think
I can't remember nothing, but
it was some kind of, I don't know if it was full on like physical violence or anything like that, but there was definitely some kind of like incident that happened. I can't remember exactly what it was, but that definitely sounds right. Let's see.
Well, because you had Ryan Clark from ESPN tweeting out, man, people are really about to bury him, aren't they? And I'm like, I mean, he did just like hit another coach on the other team.
Yeah,
like
so
90 people in America are getting fired from their job if they like hit someone at work. Like,
oh my God, yes. Well, and so I just found out what we were talking about, Will. So Michigan head coach Juwan Howard and Maryland head coach Mark Turgeon got heated as their teams faced off in the 2021 Big Ten tournament. With Michigan leading into the second half, Howard and Turgeon started screaming at each other during a timeout after Howard walked up and went over to the Maryland bench. So he apparently something bad was said, and then Juwan Howard came storming over to the bench. Big John match. There wasn't there wasn't a swing, I don't believe, or anything like that. But yeah, he came running over and charged at him and got ejected that game. So he's definitely maybe got a little hothead streak, kind of Bobby Knight type of edge to him.
Come on, man. It'll be what's the status of them right now? Are they looking like a tournament team, or are they kind of on the
they're
bubble?
Pretty. I think Michigan has had a pretty poor season. Last I checked, they were like 14-11.
Yeah, something like that. I didn't know if they were sitting on there, kind of maybe being.
I mean, I guess if they.
I figured they might make it. I don't know. I haven't watched that much.
I'm pretty sure they would have to win out the regular season and make a good run in the Big Ten tournament, or just win the tournament, because I'm trying to get their record pulled up here, but I don't believe it was very good. So yeah, they're 8-7 in conference play, 14-11. Like I said, so they've 8-3 at home, but 4-7 away.
Not gonna make many tournaments.
They're probably not going to make the tournament unless they get hot now, and losing your head coach usually doesn't bode too well.
What if they do get hot now? Like, what does that prove?
That Juwan's the problem, maybe. I doubt it, though.
It proves nothing. Maybe they rally for him. See, you never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You could spin it a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
It's funny seeing so you don't know, like the one time I've seen Nebraska make a tournament, I'm pretty sure we went 16-14, but it was a team that we had like 4 top 10 wins or something that season. So like,
yeah, definitely your kind of resume can help you out in the tournament, getting into the tournament for sure.
Big wins do count for a lot. Like you win a few big games, it goes a long way.
Yeah. No, definitely agree on that. Oh, I think you cut out there, Will. What'd you say?
I wait for March.
Oh yeah, no.
February.
I think we got a little preview of 2 March teams in the Hogs and Vols the other night.
Yeah.
That was a big time game. Bud Walton was rocking. It was lit.
It was a definitely defensive, grinded out kind of game.
It was.
Final score was 58-48, so it was an ugly one.
It was ugly. It was ugly. Like it was nice that we won, and it was very enjoyable, to be honest.
Yeah.
I got serious love for Tennessee. That's home state. I cheer for the Vols a good bit, but when they play the Hogs, that's the enemy. I'm a Razorback, so it's nice to beat Tennessee. But it was just kind of it felt like a big game that just got taken over a little bit by officials and stuff.
Yeah, the charges. I mean,
there were
seemed a little much.
Yeah, it did, and it probably went a little more in the favor of Arkansas, just to be honest.
I think people were exaggerating
as most home crowds do. Most home games, you get a little bit of you just get a little bit of a bump in foul calls.
Get that home cooking, baby.
Yeah, but it was just it when you have so many stoppages and there's no flow to a game, and every possession you got a guy on the ground and you're calling fouls.
Yeah.
And, if you want to stop like guys taking charge calls and having to make that call, just stop calling them. And if the guys stop getting rewarded for trying to take a charge call, like Jalen Williams is doing a great job because he's doing what he's told to try and take a charge call. He's literally setting himself up. But if you stop rewarding like plays like that, then they won't do it. Then he won't go set up and try to get a charge call when a guy like passes the ball in midair.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame the player at all. You do what you can within the rules to win the game and give yourself the best, give your team the best chance to win. So it's definitely more on the officiating side of things. But Rick Barnes had a press conference that was actually pretty cool, talking about SEC officiating. How when he got to Tennessee, he said it was probably the worst officiating in college basketball that he's ever seen, but that he certainly has seen improvement, and he believes himself that the league has gotten a lot better, but it still has work to be done. But he said it definitely shows that there's some effort being put into making the officiating better. But he did say when he got to Tennessee, I believe, 2015, that SEC officiating was the worst he had ever seen in college basketball. So he had coached in the Big 12 and ACC. With Clemson and Texas. So kind of got to see a lot of different spectrums, and I guess the SEC didn't hold up.
It's night after night of just incompetence. I don't like to blame the refs. And like usually it's fair enough, like missed on every, usually it kind of balances out. But just so consistently, like, replays taking way too long.
Yes.
Just calling things that don't need to be called, instigating more problems than they really solve. Just let the game of basketball be played. And then you throw in TV timeouts. We got way too many TV timeouts. Under 16, 12, 8, and 4. I shouldn't have to sit through 4 TV commercials in a 20-minute basketball half. That is ridiculous. That doesn't even count if you go to timeouts and stuff. So, charges and TV timeouts. Change the TV timeouts. Maybe they go to quarters. Women's basketball plays quarters. NBA plays quarters.
everyone plays quarters except for men's college basketball.
Yeah. It's 10-minute quarters. I know for women's basketball. So I think that'd be the right move. It's just basically mirroring what the women's NCAA women's teams are doing. I think that'd just be better.
I mean, I don't. It means less. Like if it works better for commercial breaks and stuff, then yeah, I'm all for it. Like college basketball is 2 halves. Like it's fine.
Yeah, then it's just 4 halves.
I don't know if the math adds up there, but I like your thinking, Seth. So, I mean, we're gearing up for March here. What do you guys think? We saw Auburn just lose to Arkansas, but then also to Florida, who's playing Arkansas up next. We're kind of seeing some shakeups last minute here on some of the top teams. Auburn, Tennessee is going to play them. That's going to be a tough game for them. They've had our number, but Tennessee we're due for a win against
Auburn. Tennessee can beat Auburn.
We can beat anybody
at home, dude. At home, that's going to be rocking to play Auburn. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, the Vols have yet to lose at home too. So
nice, undefeated at TBA.
13-0 this season.
Nice.
So
Yeah,
we've kept the home undefeated streak alive, but our away, I mean, we've lost almost every away game. Like, I don't think we have a single good away win. I don't know what it is. Guess
I don't know. Bruce comes back home.
It's hard to win the SEC, man. Y'all are what? Y'all are still tied with us in the league, so we're both at 24.
I mean, no, we're still our home record is saved us.
I mean, you've won a few on the road.
Yeah, no, we've won a few on the road, but we don't have any.
If y'all beat Auburn and Kentucky at home, that'd be sick.
Yeah, that'd be huge.
Y'all are gonna have. I mean, Tennessee's gonna have a good seed. Arkansas is gonna have a good seed. Kentucky and Auburn both are gonna be highly seeded. Can both make good runs. I think the SEC will have. A few teams.
We'll have. I think probably around 5 or 6 teams in the tournament.
I think we'll have at least 6. I would say Alabama's definitely going to make it. LSU is probably going to make it. I would assume
they've kind of been on a downturn, but if they clean it up a little bit, they'll get in.
They're still 500 in league play. So
Kentucky will get in. Auburn's going to get in. Tennessee's going to get in. Yeah, I mean, there's
Florida could probably still get in. I mean,
if they get hot at the right time, and then obviously if maybe a crappy team gets,
there's a bunch of teams right there at 500.
Yeah, so it depends on how they shape up.
It really will depend on how it shakes out.
Yeah. What do you think? What does Tennessee have to do to maybe hang on to that 3 seed? Do we have to pretty much just like
Auburn? I mean,
yeah, if we beat Auburn, take care of business, and then at least. I mean, I think we probably got to get. Got to win the first game of the SEC.
But you got to get that double bye. If you have the double bye in the tournament and you win a game,
it's huge.
The semifinals. I mean,
yeah. So I think if we make it to the semifinals, we'll probably be good. We would definitely secure it if we make it to the SEC championship. I want an SEC championship win. I feel like Tennessee just had that regular season one or tied with LSU a few years ago. But we need an actual SEC tournament championship. That would be awesome.
Yeah,
it's hard to win one, man.
Yeah,
this is a good year to do it. This is a good year to do it. Probably Tennessee has a good chance. I could see any of that top 4. Most of the time, the champions are going to be that top 4. It's hard to win back to back to back, get high level games like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So Kentucky, Auburn, Arkansas, Tennessee, with maybe Alabama, LSU.
Yeah. Because those are Alabama could get hot, like they could actually
they knocked
if
Tennessee
they just shot well, if they just shot really well for 3 straight games, like they could, but it's so unlikely that they do that. They're so hot and cold. Like they're just as likely to shoot 20% from 3 as they are like 40. So
it'll be interesting.
Yeah, it's always fun. I hate that it's in Tampa. I mean, I don't hate that it's in Tampa. The SEC basketball tournament in Nashville is sweet.
I know it really is, and we've had it there for so long too.
I know, and we're about to. We're gonna keep having it a good amount. I think.
I think they're just adding in a few more locations, but Nashville is going to be the main one. And it's such a good central location, I feel like, for the SEC
perfect.
too.
That's what like. You're going to go to South Florida.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I would understand Atlanta or something.
Yeah, Atlanta's a pretty good central
Atlanta's
place
sweet.
to do it too.
I want to do it in Memphis. I've always wanted like Memphis to host. Dude,
That
that's
would be
such
pretty
a
sick.
good location for everybody in the SEC, truly, especially if you're adding Texas. Go a little farther west.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah,
Once
Will
Texas
and I would
is
just
in,
got to check out Memphis.
Once Texas is in, if they had it in like Dallas, that would be fun. A Dallas SEC tournament would be sweet.
I mean, maybe for the people in Arkansas, but I don't know if Nashville-wise I'm wanting to go out to Dallas.
You can easily
quick
fly
flight.
Nashville to Dallas. Yeah. That's a quick.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Southwest has direct flights to Dallas, so that probably would be a pretty easy flight to get. Wouldn't be too expensive either. It's short.
Fun. Anyway, the SEC tournament is a lot of fun on Broadway. That is a really good.
Yes, it is, and it just brings in just so many people in the city. I love to see just a bustling downtown Nashville. Yeah, it's a great sight to see. It is a lot
of fun, especially when they're all college basketball fans. It is. Yeah, it really is fun.
And the last time I was down there for the tournament, I saw Phil Fulmer and got to say hi to him real quick as he was coming down the street. I kind of like blanked in the moment and didn't really know what to say. I was like, "Oh, hey, coach, thank you." Like I just said thank you. I just said thank you, and he was like, "Go Vols." I just said thank you as because he won us a national championship.
Yeah,
I didn't really know what else to say. All I knew to say was thank you.
That's usually kind of something what I say. Like I've seen Pittman around town a few times. Fayetteville's not a very big place. He's walking down the street, and it always does kind of come down to like, oh, yeah, coach, thanks.
Like, hey, thanks for everything,
man, thanks for all you're doing, man. You're really firing up Hog Nation.
Yeah.
Thanks for that natty. Yeah. Thanks, coach.
Really, I should have. That was when Phil Fulmer was the athletic director still. So if it had been a year later, I wouldn't have been as happy to see him.
Yeah, that's true. He was still the godfather at that point.
He was the godfather at that point. But then AD career was not too great for Fat Phil.
It was not very good. He did not have.
Fat Phil might be the most kind of tainted but still loved figure at any college program.
Yeah.
Joe Paterno or something,
He's like he is still loved like overall. And as a few years pass, if the Vols continue to do good in most sports, I mean, you won't really look back on him bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad that we let him step down and retire instead of firing him. His legacy isn't as tarnished as it could be at Tennessee, so I'm fine with it.
That's what I'm saying. Like the programs are actually in an okay space right now, and it's soon enough.
Surprisingly, yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like even football has bounced back surprisingly well. So it softens kind of the blow of like him having such a kind of bad exit. Like it's just kind of like tolerable. It's like, oh, it's okay. He didn't totally wreck the program. We're all right.
Could be much worse.
It could be much worse.
But he was definitely only able to step down. Like
if he hadn't won a national championship, he would have been fired for sure.
Well,
if he hadn't won a national championship, he wouldn't have been your athletic director to start with.
No, but I'm just saying, like, he was fired. Like, he showed up, and they were like, all right, buddy.
Yeah, he was fired.
Oh, yeah, they gave him the chance. You can either step down gracefully or we're going to get ugly with this. So
it was the same thing when he coached. It was like, all right, man, we're not winning anymore, so you got to stop coaching. But, hey, respect to Phil. He loves Tennessee.
Yeah.
Loved it much, I guess.
Yeah.
Held it a little too close. See, that's what when he got the reins in like the middle of all that chaos, he should have let go. Like he did kind of step in at like a weird, crazy moment when like they did kind of need almost someone to look through. They're like, screw it. Phil Fulmer, like the people still like him. We'll make him our athletic director. Like he won a national championship. Maybe he'll do good. And then he made one really bad hire. And then that's how you get ousted as athletic director by making them god awful hire and doing other things on top of it. Not good.
Yeah. But you guys want to talk a little NBA? We had some pretty crazy stuff happen in the All-Star weekend as we're moving more and more out of football season. We got to fire up things with college basketball and NBA basketball. Before we get into All-Star weekend, if you guys are cool with it, I want to talk a little top 75 that came out because there was definitely some suspect things, suspect players that were on here. And I want to start off. Oh, was
it top 5 of all time?
Yeah, top 75 of all time, the official release. So I'll go through the top.
So I got a question. Was it the top? Did they do a top 50 list and then those guys were grandfathered into the top 75 list? So they just added 25 new guys? Is that what they did?
So it was. I don't know if it was like that. I think it was a separate entity. It was like tied in with the Athletic and then also a separate group of NBA voters. So I think it's like a new list or something like that. It's a different because they're each different. Like company can have different lists and stuff, but this is the newest kind of updated one, I guess.
Yeah, but they had a whole ceremony at halftime.
Yeah. So it was like the official NBA update to that one. But so we had MJ at 1, LeBron at 2, Kareem at 3, Bill Russell at 4, Magic 5, Wilt 6, Larry Bird 7, Shaq at 8, Tim Duncan at 9, Kobe Bryant at 10. I don't really hate that top 10 too much. I think that's pretty.
I mean, it's all kind of up for debate, right? Like you could a lot of those guys around.
You could shift those guys 2 to 3 spots.
All those guys are so great. Their list of accomplishments is like crazy. It's like, it was a little better. They're all pretty amazing at that elite level. So I feel like you can really switch, those guys.
Yeah. Personally, I'd probably have like Magic, Wilt, and Kareem all to finish out the top 5 after LeBron and MJ. But like that's just me.
Yeah,
so.
I would have LeBron as number 1. See, that's just me.
I would put
I'm not a basketball writer. I'm a LeBron fan, so that would be a tad bit biased. But at the same time, LeBron stacks up. I
mean, he was at number 2, and certainly the argument was there
on everything. So, and he's still doing it. He's still hooping. Like, he is still scoring, like, his best scoring season. I mean, his game is not as dominant as, like, at one point, he was unstoppable. But he was truly unstoppable when he's
averaging the most points he has since 2010. So, since the first run with Cat, he was still on that first run with the Cavs. 2010, he averaged like 29.8, and this year he's averaging 29.5. So, which is more than he averaged in Miami. Assist numbers are down a little bit, and I think that could be a little bit more with kind of his teammates and Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis
Westbrook is bad. He's really bad now. What happened?
I think he's just trying to do too much. He's in a weird situation. He's that type of guy that wants the ball a ton, and it's one of those weird things where a guy hits his decline quick.
Yeah. His game was so built on explosiveness and just like speed. I don't know. When your game is a lot built on that, and then when that kind of starts breaking down a little bit, then you over exaggerate. Like, he was once a good shooter. Like he was, and now he's just become a really poor shooter and like doing things just way out of. He was truly an MVP, like one of the great player in the league, and now it's just kind of tough to watch. But I don't watch the Lakers. Like, he's still probably balling a little bit more than I give him credit for. You just see the really bad highlights, which are really bad.
Well, it's the same thing what like Ron was doing, because his game was very much built on just athleticism, but he started transitioning really early in his career to becoming like a better shooter, a better passer. Not always like he used to talk a lot about not putting so much kind of wear and tear on his knees just by like doing these, not always going up and coming down super hard, just like paying attention to it basically. Because you have a guy like Brook now whose game is still pretty much all athleticism. And at a certain point, like you just can't rely on that. Like you have to become more skillful.
Yeah. He's a good passer, and he's obviously does really good things, but just makes too many errors. You can't be as careless with the ball as he is, and be an effective point guard. You just can't.
Agreed. But there were some kind of weird. I felt like kind of weird players, like specifically Damian Lillard being named to the top 75 list when there were some snubs, such as Dwight Howard, Pau Gasol, Vince Carter, Dikembe Mutombo, Tony Parker.
No Vince Carter?
How were those guys not in the top 75? Yeah, they were snubbed. I mean, how can you say Damian Lillard, who his only accomplishment is Rookie of the Year, and he's got all-stars, I guess you can say, all NBA teams, but no finals appearances, no conference championship wins, no scoring titles, no assist titles, no defensive player of the year. He made one
crazy.
run.
They got distracted by Dame time.
Yeah.
They got distracted by Dame time and called him a top 75 player.
Nikola Jokic, I think in the past 3 years, I saw some status hit more game winners than Dame Lillard has in his entire career.
No, I definitely have.
It's overblown.
But here's I feel like the major problem with lists like these, like if I were to ask y'all, if I were to start to name players, I could probably name 30 players that you would say, oh yeah, they're top 20 players. That makes sense.
It's so hard when you've had such a long history of NBA and you have some greats like Bill Russell and Wilt and players who averaged unreal statistics. The eras have changed so much, so it's really hard to nail down an exact list.
Where was Steph? Where was Steph on that list?
I think he was at, I want to say 15.
He'd probably be top 15.
Yeah, I believe he came up at number 15. So they definitely put some respect on his name. He's the best 3-point shooter of all time. So you gotta put him up there.
He could go even higher, dude. He could win a championship this year. I mean, think about it. Like him having another run. Like, what if they reeled off a couple in the next 3 or 4 years?
Yeah, I mean, they're looking good, and Klay Thompson's
and
playing
keeps hooping
right
like
now.
He is. I mean, why can't Steph be a great shooter for a long time? He seems like longevity. You want to talk about longevity?
Yeah, Ray Allen. He was a great shooter for a long time and played on some big moments even after the Celtics with those Miami teams. So
huge, dude. He saved the finals.
Yeah, literally. They hit that shot that, I mean, no one will ever forget. I remember watching that with my dad. And my sisters had just fallen asleep like 5 minutes before. Because, I mean, they were wheeling out the championship stuff for the Spurs and everything. They had the T-shirts ready to go, everything, because the game was over. Then Kawhi missed a free throw, and Bosch with the rebound, right out to Ray Allen. Rest is history. Because you knew Game 7, LeBron was not losing. Like there was
Game 7 came to eat.
Like there was just no way they were losing that after how that game finished. After winning like that, I mean,
there's nothing more demoralizing in Game 7 than having lost a Game 6 in heartbreak. Like if you blew something in Game 6, you know you're about to lose in Game 7. That's just tough.
Miami Heat LeBron. I mean, perfect.
That's what I'm saying. Dude, Miami Heat LeBron is the greatest player of all time. There's no one has been better at basketball than he was at that point.
No, I don't think so either. But Trisha, did you have others, or just maybe some you were like, how are they ranked ahead of this guy or anything?
I mean, nothing like super crazy, but mainly like those players that I felt that were left off. Penny Hardaway is another one. Yao Ming, I think you could potentially put on.
T-Mac was transcended the game.
And some of those players, they've done so much for the league that you can kind of – it's hard like guys with Penny and Yao Ming. And I feel like Bill Walton, he was like at number 60-something. But at their heights, and peaks of their career, if they kind of would have had that longevity a little bit longer, you could see those guys being top 30, top 20, I think.
I think it does come down to like 75 just sounds a lot bigger than it is. Like, I think you could probably name 50 players off the top of your head, like right now, that would probably be close to on that list. So when you really start trying to break it down, you realize, oh shoot, we're going to have to leave some people off that you thought would definitely be on.
Yeah. Agreed. But we also have, obviously, the NBA All-Star Game, All-Star Weekend happened. It was kind of insane that Steph was able to hit 16 threes. And I love that they changed the All-Star award to the Kobe Bryant All-Star MVP. So that was really cool. And the fact that Steph Curry did what he did, set records for that Kobe award, was pretty sweet. That was
him just going off like that was fun to watch. Just being so impressive on a stage with all the best players in the world. That really is. That's why the All-Star Game basketball is fun to me, is like, for one night, really the best players in the world are just out here hooping. And, they're not trying that hard, but they do go at it pretty good. I like the new format. Pretty good. But
it's getting better.
Each quarter is a blank slate. Like you compete for each quarter. So it does at least puts a few minutes of the game intermittently in competitive spaces, because it's fun to watch those guys when it is competitive.
Yeah. And I think, weren't they doing some kind of charity thing for whichever side won got to donate $50,000 to some charity or something like that. And people were talking about moving that over to the Pro Bowl, which I think would be really cool and because the Pro Bowl was horrible. I mean, nobody likes the Pro Bowl. I didn't
even turn the Pro Bowl on. That doesn't do it for me. That's boring.
Yeah.
I didn't even watch. I was bitter. That was probably bitter of me because Vrabel was even the head coach. I didn't even want to watch it.
Yeah, that definitely made it worse.
He should have been getting ready to coach the Titans in the Super Bowl. Instead, he's coaching in the Pro Bowl. I can't watch that.
I did see a tweet that had a great idea that I would definitely be a fan of for Pro Bowl and NBA All-Star Weekend. And it essentially was just have NFL Pro Bowlers play a pickup basketball game on NBA All-Star Weekend, and then have the NBA All-Stars play like a flag football game for the Pro Bowl.
That would be actually pretty cool, just to see, like, because they did a celebrity, or it wasn't a celebrity dunk contest, but like an NFL dunk contest during All-Star Weekend one time, where Deion Sanders, Michael Irvin, Chris Carter, all guys who obviously were dual sport, or not all, but Chris Carter and Deion Sanders were both really good dual sport athletes. And obviously those guys are athletic and can go up there, and we're doing some pretty cool dunks. So I kind of like that idea, Dunny, of maybe crossing platforms a little bit and letting some of these great athletes show, hey, I ain't just a football player. I ain't just a basketball player. I can go make noise on any pro field.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just think it'd be fun to see, especially, I think probably, football guys doing basketball stuff would be pretty fun, especially if you had some really good players. But even if you got some like linemen out there doing like a skills competition, stupid.
Miles Garrett, he's a defensive lineman, and that dude can hoop. He can shoot. He can like dunk over anybody.
But can he? It's good, I think. I'm pretty sure you can just hoop a little bit.
Yeah,
I saw some insane dunks, at least, because he's a freak athlete for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, the one final thing that I wanted to talk about on the NBA All-Star Weekend was Michael Jordan was out there, and he had kind of some weird moments. I don't know if you guys saw this when he was rubbing the back of Steph Curry's head on the sidelines, like after he won the MVP or something. He literally, for a good 10 seconds, was caressing the back of Steph Curry's head. I thought it was a little weird since they're both married with wives. It kind of seemed maybe a little inappropriate, but I don't know what that was. Also, Michael Jordan
was acting a fool. I think he came.
Because he came up and hugged and was all over Luka Doncic.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
And then he didn't even recognize Karl Anthony Towns when he came up. Like it was just weird overall for Michael Jordan this weekend.
You think MJ was just buzzing? Like he might just be kind of a weird guy when he gets a few drinks in him?
Yeah, I think he probably was just having fun that weekend and was a little loosey-goosey. So I don't think it was anything too crazy, but
Michael
just was kind of funny to see out there.
He literally just got ranked #1 in front of all of them. He literally was.
Yeah, he was celebrating.
Actually, I did show up just to stick it in your faces again that all you're ranked below me. Like, of course he's gonna show up and be just like screw you guys. This is a victory lap for me. I literally got ranked by basketball historians #1 before all you guys. And LeBron's right there too. And so he's just kind of he's got to do it. Show up, turn up.
Yeah.
I wonder what LeBron thinks when like they do that list. Do you think LeBron's just like, yeah, whatever?
Yeah, I don't know.
It probably does pit. Like it would irritate. I mean, it would irritate me. I feel like.
But I feel like the fact that LeBron grew up watching Michael Jordan though, and like he wore 23 because he loved Michael Jordan. So I think LeBron has so much respect for him and grew up. LeBron grew up in the 90s, so that was the guy. So to come in, I don't think he feels slighted being behind MJ. I mean, that's one of the greats that he loved. And MJ talks about George Gervin, the Iceman, being one of his kind of biggest role models and stuff like that. So I think MJ would probably be a little bit more slighted if he was not #1.
If MJ's not #1, he's not showing up, right?
Not as much. Yes.
Totally. MJ #2, there's no way.
Or he might just show up to play LeBron one-on-one and try and prove that he's better than he could just attend out of spite and try and just start dunking on people and proving that he still got it. Because MJ, he definitely has that little bit of psycho competitive tendency to him, which, I mean, kind of gave him that edge to be the greatest of all time and be willing to do whatever it takes.
Yeah, that's why he was so great. That's why he won that many championships for sure. Like you look at him and Brady, like it's odd the like competitive level they both had.
Yeah.
But I would say LeBron probably doesn't have as much of, but that doesn't mean I don't think LeBron's better at basketball, personally, for me anyway.
Yeah,
that's true.
I just think at his peak, LeBron was more dominant at the game of basketball. He was just, it was so unstoppable and did so many things.
Well,
and did it at such a bigger and stronger, he just was a bigger basketball player.
Yeah, he was a bigger guy. But I mean, what Michael did averaged the most or has the highest career average for scoring at 30.1 a game, 10 straight scoring titles, has the defensive player of the year as well. I don't know. LeBron's definitely a better passer, definitely a better 3-point shooter. But
didn't most points not long ago?
Yeah, well, most combined points. So technically, he's still #3 on regular season points. But if you combine the regular season and playoffs, he does have the most points. And he's played so many playoff games. Obviously, what he reached the finals 7 years in a row or 6 years in a row.
No, he did it 9 years.
Yeah,
he went to 9 straight finals. Yeah. That's crazy.
9 straight finals. So what do you have? 4 with Miami, won 2 of them. Then went to Cleveland. They had another 4 or 5 straight, right? Something like that.
I think I think they just had 3.
Was it 3? So maybe he had more with Miami because it was 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014. 2014 Spurs won. 2015 was when the Warriors beat the Cavs. LeBron lost. 2016 was when they won. 2017, 2018, they lost. And then 2019, they lost to the Raptors, right? Or was that?
He didn't make it. That was his first year with the Lakers.
That was his first year with the Lakers. Yep, that's right.
And then he won
2020, right, with the Lakers. Yeah, and then obviously last year got bounced.
And they're not going to win.
And they're not. No, got no shot this year, pretty much.
Yeah.
Dude,
Are they going to make the playoffs?
They're going to make the bubble. They're whatever the play-in tournament. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So they're still. I mean, they're hovering around 500. But hey, you never know what can happen if a team gets hot at the right moment.
Anthony Davis comes back healthy at the right time. I mean,
yeah,
why not? It's not going to happen though.
To the finals, like I don't think he will. But if that were to happen, I don't want to hear anyone ever. I don't want to hear any LeBron slander ever again.
If he gets this team to the finals, I think that can put him over Jordan. In my book,
I think if he gets another team, if he got a 5th ring at this stage, whether it's this year, next year, or that would put him at. It would have to. And I think in time, honestly, a lot of people will even put him ahead in time, regardless. Yeah, because it'll be a lot more people like my age that only have watched LeBron. Mm-hmm. And they're like, well, Jordan was good, but LeBron, did you grow up watching LeBron? He was amazing.
That is true. And that's kind of that same effect for Michael Jordan because he was such a big superstar. I mean, he did so much to like really bring the NBA. Bird and Magic were kind of the initial guys to start really making it global. But Mike just, I mean, all the Gatorade commercials and the big shoe deal and just, I mean, he blew up basketball. So I think that definitely has something to do with it, with just those people growing up during that time. And Michael Jordan was the biggest athlete in the world.
Yeah.
We need to have the lawyer come on and debate.
Oh yeah. Get some hot corner takes.
Big Jordan guy. Doesn't watch a lot of basketball, but big Jordan guy.
It's tough. It's a funny argument to have because it's an unwinnable argument because it's he's entrenched. Like there's no
So if he doesn't even watch basketball and is fully set on Jordan,
he's just fully set.
It sounds like
a man that is very open-minded about a lot of things in life. He's very set that Michael Jordan is a better basketball player than.
It's a tough debate, but we'll figure it out in about 10 years. I'd say. I think after LeBron is fully done. We got to see how it
ends. We'll see if him and Bronny won championships together. That would just turn it out.
I have a dark horse kind of scenario here, to where LeBron is Bronny going to be in the league in 2 years or 3 years?
I don't know. I mean,
because first of all, he's
going to be in the league as soon as he can because
either 2 or 3 years.
About to be
but I think the Grizzlies draft him. He played on an AAU team. Him and Zaire Williams are best of friends. So they pair up Bronny and Zaire. Then LeBron already said, I will play with my son. So you know a team's going to draft Bronny, even if he's not that good because he's a 4-star. Which obviously stars don't mean anything until you get out there on the court. We'll see how it plays out. But even if he's not that good, a team will draft him in the second round to get LeBron for 1 year. Guaranteed.
The second round for sure. Like someone's definitely taking him.
So I say Grizzlies win the championship with LeBron, Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., Zaire Williams, and Bronny James in 2 to 3 years.
That would be tight. I gotta be honest. That would be crazy. Ja can win a championship. That'd be sick.
Yeah.
Ja's amazing, dude. That was my favorite part of the All-Star game was him just taking the world stage and just hammering some sick dunks like he does every night. He does that every night.
He lights up. He just lights it up from a entertainment standpoint. So I'm excited to see how big he can take his game.
And he's very effective. Like that. Yeah. He is a great
because he's a driver slasher
performer, but he is
he's efficient. Yeah.
Yeah, he is. So
good passer too.
Wasn't LeBron 40 years old at that point if he were to win one with Bronny?
Because he's 37. He's 37 right now.
He had a ring when he was 40.
Mike averaged 20 a game and was an all-star when he was 40. So
he was only an all-star because he was Michael Jordan. Let's be honest.
That's true. Yeah, but if LeBron is still in the league at 40, he'll no matter what, if pretty much unless he gets injured and doesn't play, he'll be an all-star for sure.
Yeah.
But I think he'll also have the stats to be in it at that point because I think LeBron's that good.
If he wants to play with Bronny, though, I feel like that's kind of like you said, like Bronny's only a 4-star. We don't know. Like if he were to leave early, he's kind of just getting drafted because his dad is LeBron.
Yeah.
And at that point, are you even really like playing with your son? Because he's probably not going to play. Like you'll practice with him.
Yeah, it'll still be. I think just being traveling together and being on the team together and all those bonding moments that you have as teammates would be really, really cool to kind of have a father-son thing. Be the first time, I guess, since Ken Griffey Jr. and Sr., right? Are there any other scenarios? I think I looked it up and didn't see any. There was one. It was like back in the 20s. There was a like football player coach and son that played on some team. Like I can't even remember what it was, but pretty much the only relevant one was obviously the Griffeys.
The question is, does Bronny want to play with LeBron?
That is true.
I think he's just got to accept his destiny is to play with his dad.
He's got to listen to the old man. I mean,
yeah, you got to.
LeBron already said it was going to happen.
You're so sad. You're going to be on an NBA team because of me. Okay, Bronny.
Yeah, like shut up and play.
His dad can even pull like the GOAT card. Like literally, you're only on this team because of me. So like, at least be appreciative.
Just the big leagues as son like that. That would be awesome.
Like if Bronny was really great, he would be easily a 5-star. Like he's the most overexposed kid to basketball of all time. Like he would be the best kid.
Yeah, the fact that he's not a 5 has me a little suspicious.
I bet he's not. I bet
you he won't be that good. I bet
he's not that good. That's what I'm saying. I mean, he's good. He's obviously a very high level basketball player. I just don't think he's very NBA good. Like I don't think he's an NBA player.
Right.
Not right out of the bat. Not in 2 years from now. But he's going to be. That's the thing. He's going to be. Now he'll probably play in the G League a good bit too. Like I mean, a lot of those guys do those nice 10-day both 2-way contracts now. That's a pretty good system. He'll be with he'll play with LeBron and whatever.
You never know. I'm looking at it here, and he is top 50 in recruiting. So he's number 43. He's a high 4-star for sure.
That's legit. I mean, that's legit. They aren't gonna just rank him. I mean,
yeah, and he's got an offer from Kentucky. If John Calipari is
wow, I mean that's pretty
offering. That's a good sign. So, but I mean, there's plenty of 4- and 5-star busts out there, but you never know. Maybe
what's his offer list? Where's he been offered?
Kentucky's his only one, but Duke, Kansas, UNC, and UCLA have all been recruiting him. I mean, he's still, I think, a junior. Yeah, he's class 2023, so he's still got another year of high school left. Or I guess he's got to finish up this season, and then we'll have another year of high school left, unless he reclassifies or something like that. Which could happen too if he really wants to play with his dad. He could end up reclassifying, getting to college early, and then getting in the league. But who knows if that'll be the best for him and the best for his development. I'd hope LeBron would be okay with not going through all those hoops if he thinks his son will have a better chance at being a great basketball player, kind of going that other route.
Yeah, Bronny might just retire from brass best. What if Bronny and LeBron retired at the same time?
Because Bronny's just not that good.
No, Bronny's like, look, I played basketball all this time, but I'm only here because my dad really, I'm kind of quitting. I'm retiring. Like, I play in the NBA. Yeah, that's sick. I'm done. All right, Dad, I made it here. I played with you in the NBA. I'm done now.
He's on stage. He's like, I don't like basketball.
I don't even like basketball, Dad. I could see that. That's like what Space Jam was. The new Space Jam.
The new Space Jam was kind of weird. I heard
not liking basketball. Wow.
All right, boys.
Yeah, I think that about concludes my list of stuff that I wanted to run through.
We touched on a lot of stuff around the whole.
We're really all for, except hockey. We haven't touched on hockey. Maybe we'll have to add a little hockey minute and a little baseball minute and a little mix of everything. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't watch much hockey, dude.
Neither do I. I don't know if I could really talk too much about it. I mean, I like watching the Preds, but I don't follow much outside of that.
Forsberg's on fire.
Yeah. I mean, the teams got hot, went through another kind of little slump, and then now is heating up back again. So I know they were number 1 in the Central Conference for a little while, but ended up kind of falling a little bit. We had a lot of games in kind of had played a lot more games than some of the other teams and have fallen a little bit behind. But hey, we'll have to start doing a little research more on the league itself and start expanding our knowledge to hit some of those hockey fans.
Yeah, for sure. We'll see how it goes. But guys, yeah, thanks again for listening. We've got don't forget to check us out on social media, Twitter at @paydirt_sports, on Instagram at @paydirtsports. Don't forget we're part of the Six Pack Coverage Network. Be sure to check them out on Instagram, Twitter, Six Pack Coverage. Check out their website, sixpackcoverage.com. They've got everything: food, travel, fitness, sports, entertainment. And be sure to check out our website as well, paydirtsports.blog. Guys, any closing remarks?
Go Hogs.
Go Vols.
All right, guys. Thanks again for listening, and we will see y'all next week.
See you next week. Pay Dirt out.